Today we're buying this zebra. What we need to use is 3 colors of wool, a 3.0 groove needle, then a split and close needle, 2 mark buckles, and a pair of eyes. First, we take out this blue-gray thread. To clean up your metabolism, take it from the little finger. Bypass the index finger to the middle finger and turn it once. Pinch this intersection. Hook the buckle needle through the coil. Take it out. Rotate it counterclockwise and then take it out. Don't recognize that the thread is still wound for a while from now on, and then take out the first short needle constructed at this time. We need to hook 6 short needles, thread the thread counterclockwise from first, and then wind the thread through these 2 coils. The second one. After the coil is finished at 8 o'clock, let's remove the quote in the first stitch. The first stitch is this V word. Someone passed through the seat. Women are restricted. Then take the back collar coil, then wrap the thread counterclockwise and take the coil again to stand up the needle immediately. And then we are not good in the first turn. In the second turn, we hook the short needle and add the needle. From the first true magic, the true counterclockwise hot wire is brought out and then wrapped. Then now our hookup is the first stitch and there is no mark. Buckle it on the first stitch to mark it so that it can be passed through. Then we hook another short needle in the same needle membrane. Okay, this first short needle plus needle is good enough. We have to hook 6 groups and each needle has to hook 2 short needles. Good 6th patriarch, our company is finished. Let's divide it by silver in the first stitch. Let's take down this mark. Then put a needle in this side. Then after strapping the thread directly, when there is a coil, wind the thread counterclockwise to bring out the first standing needle, and then the second turn is arranged. In the third turn, we still say this in the first one and enter the true reverse winding tape. Hook a short needle first, and then we sit on the mark. For the second stitch, we still hook the short stitch, and the third stitch in total is also a short stitch, and hook 3 short stitches. After the 3 short needles are arranged, then a short needle is hooked, that is, a needle film is hooked with 2 short needles. Such a good group, there are 3 groups in total. Then make a little more needle female. If the ladder thread army still talks about winding the thread yesterday, the 3rd lap will be hooked and the 4th lap will be hooked with 15 short stitches that are not added or subtracted. Well, make a mark buckle when the first needle is inserted. Then each needle ink corresponds to hook a short needle. There are 15 in total. Then we buckle the mark here and put that mark blowjob number. Let the 4th lap of the 9 countries be finished. On lap 5, we have to change the white thread. Let's return this to him. That's right. Bring it directly, then hook a short needle structure needle corresponding to each needle hole, insert it from the first needle hole, and then place the last 2 threads above the groove needle. Above my goo station. Construct a short array each weekend. After Xu Zhenggu finished speaking, she also started the first V word here. Then on the 6th turn, we have to change the colored thread again, and we cut off the extra thread at the back. I'm closing the door. Each special at the end of the corresponding inform for a while. Build a Qi Lijian. Not the first short room can make a cross buckle. Then let's silver at the first true devil. Then on the 7th turn, we changed the white ear wires, hooked 4 short needles and 1 additional needle. 1,000 miles of 7 Lijian. In the first needle curtain, insert the belt out. Then the second end value. 3rd short room. Take another short ear additional needle. Then there are 3 groups. The last home, really. You change the thread when you want to pull out the silver handle from the needle. Well, don't worry about it yet. Then set up a Qi needle before the reverse teacher. Okay, we're done on lap 7. On the 8th turn, we hook a corresponding short needle in each needle. Or with white thread. Every weekend, a short stitch is enough to hook the first stitch. If you are a novice, you can add a mark buckle to facilitate distinguishing. After lap 8, it's time for us to change lines again. On the 7th, you lead it here on the 7th buckle. Change the blue line to bring it out. Bring it over again. Where is a 7-mile needle? Then what about this one lap? On the 9th lap, we have to hook 5 short camp additional stitches. In the first one, sew into truth. Various expert guesses. Another broken needle add. Okay, so this is one group. There are 3 groups in total. The second group has been controlled, and there is still the last group. Good. 3 tables and 1 room are hooked. Then let's do silver white here in this dating buckle. We have to mix wires in the rain circle, so we have to use white wires to lead them when you pull them out. How? Mother Kim pulled it out first, then turned this down, and we began to install its eyes, which were between the 8th and 9th circles. There are 4 needle meshes in the middle interval, and 1234 is at this position. Then we're going to put this little hat on this gambling hat on the back. Come, buckle it, like this. Okay, let's continue hooking with white thread. But now each needle film is sewn with a short space. First, a lifting needle is set up, and then each needle film is hooked with a short needle without adding or subtracting. That's 21 towns. If it is ripe, you don't need to add this gel. Help you find the real ink. There is no need to pay or deduct. Looking back on this lap, I waited for my own purchase without adding or subtracting. Now I've checked it to the end, and then we took off the number 7 buckle. Insert it at the ground needle, and then take it over without using the blue thread because the clue needs to be changed in the next row. The 11th row is 6 short rooms, and 1 plus stitch is also 3 groups. Because I called a family treasure of mine, I felt 2 short needles in the mother ditch. 2 triple groups. After setting it before, confirm that it is finished, and then we change the white thread. Do a sound class at the ground needle. Pull this gray news machine. There are 24 short needles that are not added or subtracted, and the end of each needle corresponds to a sense center. Okay, this goes until the end. This is also ticked out, and we also do it at the drip needle, causing the blue thread to change. Bring it over and tighten the white thread. Use the blue thread to make an alignment needle, and then hook a short needle corresponding to each needle film. A total of 24 short stitches. After the 14th lap is hooked in the 13th lap, let's change the white line to make a shadow for it. Then the first standing needle. This circle is also 24 short arrays without adding or subtracting. And then it is hooked like this. Construct all the way to the end. Then you pull it out with the blue thread. This coupon, or the last 24, take care of the truth without adding or subtracting. The numbers before 50 are the same. We'll always tick the knot into the end. Okay, the first bundle of circles has been hooked, and we have to change the white thread on the 16th circle. So when concealing, change the white thread to conceal the white. Lin Yihang started to set up a Qi Lijian. Well, in this circle, we need 2 short needles and 1 reducing needle each. Let's hook 2 short needles first. A 2 reduction stitch is to choose this V shape, and this half is really jumping half without adjusting the power word. Bring in half of this. We entered the army from this half needle. We didn't pick this half vertebra, but the following 1 half needle. 2 half needles and 2 half needles were adjusted together and wound, and brought out from these 2 coils. Rewind the wire. Besides, this is a minus frame. 2 short needles. A frame reduction, let's demonstrate it again. Pick this to play with buying power. Low score, half person, and half accuracy of Volume 2 are combined. Historical people wound the wire and took it, and then wound the wire, Weibo or 2 coils. In this way, 2 version needles and 1 front needle are formed into a group, and a total of 6 groups are hooked. Everyone has checked this circle by themselves, and we have finished telling you, and then changed to another color thread. He pulled it over. Then the other person, we pulled this white thread tight. In this circle, we hook a short stitch, a reduction stitch, and a short stitch first. Then, 1 more needle. And the 2 outer half circles first face the cloth on the meat line, then face the cloth, and then a short array. Simple and repeated like this. Tick all the way to the end. Okay, when everyone gets here, we'll come to 3-0. A small number of times to fill it in. That's about it, and then we tick the last line to be 6. For shock absorption, there is no need to change the thread. We can cut off the white thread. Use this medium stone to press the cotton down on it, and then hook the 0 negative shape like this. This circle is all simple arrays, all outside the ditch. These 2 companions are cut into one army, and there are 6 groups in total. And then what? We took out the suture needles. His needle can be stitched casually. Any position can be used. This thread can be left a little longer. I left a little too much. Forget about Bing's head like this. Next, shall we be a zebra's body or reflect on people? Contact me and plug in the coil with you. Also 6 short rooms. A V word is a stitch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, chain 2, 6, and then we tighten the loop. Drink at the first needlewood. The other one is really powerful. The second lap and the second lap are 6 short. If you really add needles, you will still enter the real screen of hidden hemp. Well, hook another short needle in the same reel scene. Used 6 sets. It was as deep as the earth just now. In the third lap, we add stitches one short room after another, build a lining stitch, and hook a short stitch first. Then check an extra short year of processing. It will be a group of 6 groups. However, it was put on hold before, and it was also caused by the earthquake. The fourth turn is 2 short stitches, and 1 plus stitch is also a group of 6. Ah, 2 short needles, and then 1 extra needle. At this time, 2 groups have been hooked. Has the work been finished before using 6 seats, or was it triggered at the first announcement? You set up a 7 force needle after numbing it. Just talk for a while, we are. A short thread is constructed on the opposite side of each needle mother, making a total of 24 needles. Go through until the end. Then still draw the horse at the earthquake. Next turn, we need to change the white thread. The white line is also a groove with 24 short spaces that are not added or subtracted back, and then. Each person is a corresponding short needle. Put the white thread on the crochet hook so that it can be pressed down. A sheet of medical enough to end this. After cutting, make a scar on the lower needle. Then for the next turn, we still change to another color thread. It is also to cut 24 short arrays without adding or subtracting. Okay, after this circle of hooking, let's change the white thread and then hook 24 short needles without adding or subtracting. The journalists are over. Okay. After the circle of company is finished, let's change the thread of another color. Then hook 24 short needles without adding or subtracting. It's the end of the hook. After the 9th lap is finished, we start to hook the 10th lap, using white thread to hook 16 short stitches and 1 minus stitch. Then 6 short lines are finished, and then we pass another reduction stitch. This is a group of 3 groups. Time has passed. Let's hook the 11th lap again, and the 11th lap is 21 short lines that are not added or subtracted, so let's change some of this color for it. Each desert corresponds to a short array. Let it go all the way to the end. On the 12th day, we changed to white thread, then hooked the first immediate baptism needle, and then 21 short needles without addition or subtraction. This keeps 2 big ending. The premises are 13 circles, and we have to change them again. Change the color, then hook 5 short needles and 1 reducing needle, a total of 13 groups, and establish an air separation needle. Three 455 pieces, 5 pieces themselves, and then simply pick 2 outer half stitches with thread for 1 reduction stitch and bring them over. This is a group and a total of 3 groups. Next turn, we then change the white thread, and 14 turns are 18 short stitches that are not added or subtracted. Every physical strength is really. Blue wire pulling machine. Each needle curtain corresponds to an end needle. Those that bring out. Each needle film is a short needle, and it goes until the end. Next, there are 5 turns, and each needle mesh corresponds to a short needle. We just have to change the thread. Pull this white thread closer. We'll tick until the end. On the 16th turn, we change the white thread to hook 2 short needles, 1 scissor needle, and 2 short needles, a total of 13 groups, and build a standing needle. It's 2 short stitches, 1 or 2, and then 1 reducing stitch. Then 2 short needles. Let me have a group, which is a total of senior 3. Then this last thread is finished, and then we stretch and break the thread. The blue thread is going to break. Let's hide it for him. Then put that cotton in it. Next, let's make the hind legs of the zebra. First, take out the brown thread. Introspection takes off. Hook 6 short stitches first. Tighten the coil. In the first reel, screen silver bar. One Chi Lijen, and then hook 6 short stitches in the second circle. Seal 8 at the first needle tomb. Lap 3 is 12 short true without adding or subtracting. Clear the class at the first certification. A strength, really rolling. Next week, we are going to change the thread and change the white thread with 12 short needles that are not added or subtracted. Build a Chi Li between in the first and the present entry. The reel curtain hooks a short needle in the swallow. Then the next one didn't change the blue line. For this right, we hook a short needle and a reduced needle, a total of 4 groups. Build a Chi Lijen. Able to a short true. Another simple will check 4 groups in total. The last of the day. The short needle of. Follow this stitch. Then we are at the first root true 2 Yai 3 08. Then in the next 6th to 11th turns, these two threads are replaced back and forth. Each needle curtain corresponds to a short needle, which is 8 stitches, so we need to replace the white thread in the next turn. We can cut this thread for it. Establish a Qi Li Zhen at the end of each needle squat to construct a short needle. "48 stitches. I found 1 white, 1 blue, and 1 white, and I actually made it to the 11th lap in total. Well, who has finished sewing and then we have to leave enough long thread? It's going to be sealed later. Let's keep it longer, so we have to tick 2 and 2 more. We came to make its 2 front legs and took out our brown thread. Happy songs of introspection. So 6 short rooms. Stand at attention by 1 Qi. Tighten confidence. In the first cloud 8, on the second day of 1 Qi Li Zhen, we have 1 short needle and 1 plus needle, a total of 3 sets. A family root. Touch the needle on the ground. The first stand-up needle and then a short needle is hooked on each needle membrane, which is a total of structural short needles. Exclusive silver bar when you get off the plane. The 4th turn is replaced with white line. So each ink cuts 1 stitch. Here's a Qi Li Zhuan for you. Because let's disconnect this brown thread. Then we change the blue thread. Build a Qi Li Zhen to pull the white thread tightly. The regime is also 9 short arrays without adding or subtracting. It's the same as the white ring. Change the white thread in the next turn to hook 3 short stitches, 1 reducing stitch, 2 short stitches, and 1 reducing stitch. Build a standing truth. 3 short stops apart. Then a simple Give me 2 more short needles. Take 1 more simple. Then use it with a low score. Then from the 7th day to the 14th lap, there are 8 turns in total, which are 2 strands of thread. The changer takes turns to remove the cloth. Each needle is hooked 1 by 1 without adding or subtracting. We should change the needle to blue for the next lap, so that each lap is 7 rolls. The total is estimated to be the 14th lap, and then everyone put it on hold by themselves. The 14th lap has been hooked, and then we disconnect it. The white thread is also stretched to leave enough thread for stitching. This also needs to be ticked too. And now hook his 2 ears. Or should we reflect on the truth and set up a standing truth first? Then hook 7 short arrays in the circle. Then print it on the first stitch. Another strength is really, from the 2nd circle to the 6th circle, there are a total of 5 circles with 1 short needle in each needle membrane groove. That is, each circle has 7 needles and 7 short needles. There is no change of line in the middle. Well, next, everyone can check it yourself. A total of 66,000. Now everything is enough. Let's start sewing. Get white thread and sew its head and body first. Because there was no streamline in this body at that time, we gave him another wool to put it, which could be longer. Then the position we sew is at this head, and the position we connect below. This is the first circle of white here in blue. You enter the array from this middle. Don't actually pull this. Enter from our connected position. Then corresponding to the upper stitch. Don't do yours, Huang Yishuan. Then the needle below is covered with a yellow stitch, and just finish sewing this one for it. I'll adjust it myself at that time, and don't sew where. Could you please just sew it all the time white in one circle? When this circle is finished, we can just sew the thread a few times and hide it. Can't get back to half a line. The northern landscape color is stronger this way. Next, we'll sew his arm. Just a little longer. It's the arms. It's all deep and fine cotton, and it's all stuffed. You should also pay attention when you meet each other. This is the piece we connect, so put it inside. It's also the same weekend corresponding to this, and an uncle said, even if you wear it back and forth a few times, it will be fixed. Japanese line girlfriend can just pass it casually. Then here's the same method to put its digital method. My arm is sealed, and then her leg is sealed. The leg is also necessary to distinguish the line we connect and put it inside, so that it is sewn on its side. Okay, then let's seal in his 2 ears. The ears are placed in the first and second position in the second circle in the middle position. Just separate 2 needle membranes in the middle. Now that the title has been sealed, what then? We have to prepare 12 back and forth colored pieces and 10 pieces, and then 8 white pieces. Each section is 80 meters long. You want to give it to him? From his head, from the top of his head into truth. Then this should be aligned on both sides. Then turn these 2 lights off this way, then we will get the others up for him one after another. Then finish everything else for it like this, and we will use this needle after it is finished. Just spread it out. Let's finish the back of this one ourselves, and then leave 4 lions here at the tail. Okay. I will get it all done later. I don't think they fit. I can also trim it.